My next question is, where does the money come from?
Where does the money come
And
from?
that was just, how do you turn a creative project, some sort of a skill, maybe even a hobby, into an income stream? Like, how do you make money doing what you love?
Well, again, I'm still at the very beginning level trying to figure out how to do that myself, so I don't know that I'm qualified to really answer. I do know from my minimal experience, though, that it's going to, however much work, it's going to take work, and however much work you think it's going to take, it's probably going to take 3 or 4 times that at least. And it's probably, and however long you think it might take for you to reach a certain monetary goal or something, it's going to take way longer than you think it will. And I think that goes probably for almost everything. And it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It's just just prepare for that however much you think you're going to make or need, or however long you think it's going to take, it's going to be harder and take longer. But that's not meant to depress you or anybody. It's just something to keep in mind that's just kind of like the way it is. And if you at least have that knowledge in the back of your head when you get started with pursuing, a passion, an art, a hobby, to try to make money off of it. If you have that knowledge in the back of your head, then you won't be quite so disillusioned, when you haven't reached X goal, monetary goal in X amount of time. You're just like, okay, this stinks. This is taking longer, but it's okay. This is just the way it is. So if you just kind of have that in your head, it kind of makes the reality of it, which is that what it is, a little easier, and can help keep you from being so disappointed that you give up. Because of course, if you give up and quit, then nothing happens. So,
yeah, that's true.
I guess that's my only thing, because I'm still embroiled in that with the, boy, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be, and it's taking a lot longer than I thought it would. But,
yeah.
But so don't get disillusioned by that when it happens, because it's going to happen regardless of what regardless of what your plan is, regardless of how much money you want to make, regardless of who might be mentoring you or coaching you. If you have a personal coach who's saying, do X, Y, Z in this order and you'll get it done, it's still going to take longer than you think it will, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's my...
I agree. I think you have to put it into perspective. Whenever you merge a passion and a gifting that you have that you might be amazing at or with, and you merge that thing with actually like a business, you're now entering into the business realm. And so one thing I learned in business school, which I love the fact that I got to go. I didn't really understand how that would work into my art because I was a musician. I've always wanted to be a musician, And so the one thing they would always tell us, though, is that it takes on average 7 years for a business to break even. And so a lot of people don't think that, though, when they're trying to merge their passion. I want to make money with my passion. That's all I want to do, right? Well, you're now entering into business and you're becoming a business owner, because in order to make money, you kind of have to put this infrastructure into place that really does support your art. And so you have to have that business foundation, not necessarily go to business school. That's not what I'm saying. Hear me here. I just really feel like you need to take a look at your industry and see how people are making money. So, I do, of course, marketing with you guys, and I also do music, but I'm very well aware that music sells. As an artist, an independent artist, usually don't feed you. Like there's not enough money usually coming from those to really make you an income. But something that you can do that's really good for making an income with music is tour. And so if you want to as a musician, a lot of musicians don't know that because they've never actually taken a look at people that are really doing it. Like if you look at Taylor Swift's numbers, of course she sells a lot digitally, but she makes the bulk of her money on tour. And so if you could take that, scale it down for yourself. Okay, so if Taylor Swift even, she's not making the bulk of her money with sales of her actual songs, she makes it on tour. Like she's making hundreds of millions of dollars, and I'm not on her level, and I don't have her support from her record label or whatever. But if I take that model of what kind of is happening, it's different. There might be a different model that you want to follow, so you can alter these models, but just take the template, kind of look at it. And so for me, I was like, when I first started music, I really had to find another way to support myself, even while I was touring, and that became marketing for me, something you could do digitally. And I think that's another thing. You don't necessarily have to be all in all at once. And so it's okay to have a job and pursue your passion until the passion does pay your bills. and feed it from your job end, because sometimes it takes dollars to make dollars. But it's also okay to have like a remote job, which I really recommend people get. Get a remote job online. Go to Craigslist in San Francisco. There's a lot of remote jobs, and they'll let you work from home. And so I think that's a good tip too. Don't have to make it in a day.
The best way I've made money, or where the money has come from with me, is when I put myself out there and I say, this is what I do. I don't chase after people, say, I can do this for you. Look what I did. I can do this for you. I find if I just put myself out there, try to do it as big as possible, but in the most generic way as possible, and wait for people to come to you. It's it's what they call the aardvark factor. If you have a portfolio and you go to prospective client after prospective client, they're looking for an aardvark, and unless you have an aardvark in your portfolio, you're not going to get the deal. So it's basically putting yourself out there so people can see the aardvark. If that makes any sense. I find, going out, putting yourself, saying this is what I do in a big way is a lot better than chasing after people, I've found, and trying to get very, very specific things. So if that helps.
Yeah, that's super wise. I also recommend, just like Steven said, number one, putting yourself out there, but getting connected with people that are doing what you're doing. I think the most opportunities for me as a musician came from just joining up with other musicians in my area, or the next biggest city towards me, which was like an hour from me when I lived in California. And that got me incredible opportunities. I was then playing at South by Southwest, and I got opportunities in San Francisco, in the big city, you know what I mean? And so I wouldn't have gotten those if I didn't know those people. And I think it's just important to think like, hey, if you're really serious about being in an industry, like if you're a graphic designer or a writer or a musician or whatever you're doing, videographer, why don't you know the video community if you're a videographer? Or like, why don't you know the top 10 people in your city that do video? If you're new, go work for them for free, or, get a portfolio, get things, make your aardvark. You don't need to make money right away, even though you really think you do. You want to, we all do, but make sure you're legit,
Mm-hmm.
Easier said than done. Make sure you subscribe. We here at Helps You, we love doing videos, and we have some great things coming at you. We have things for writers, musicians, business owners, anybody who really has a project and a heart to reach people. We want to help them do it. So if you are a creative or business owner, we got tons for you.